Sports Fix. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show for Thursday, April 26th. Right, Jim? We are chugging along. I'm grinding this shit out. Yesterday, we both had like nice winning days. You had a nice little winning day, didn't you, Jim?
Well, in baseball.
Yeah.
But no, I lost both of the Raptors.
Oh, you did?
plays,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
that's
then
right,
I
that's
went
right.
50-50 on the overs. So 1-3 in NBA, and then 0-2 in hockey. It's bad, man. Baseball I seem to be seeing very clear, and now I'm a little gun shy. Although I have big futures pending with the Penguins, so.
Gun shot. You're up to like 17.5 units.
Oh, baseball's great.
Yeah.
I just mean
Yeah.
NHL, NBA.
All right. Well, the good news is that we got about 10 or 12 MLB games on the card tonight.
Yep.
Only 2 or 3 NBA and NHL games for you to fuck that up. So we're looking pretty good, right, Jim?
Yes, but still overall juicy plus units in all those sports. So.
Now, part of why I love this shit is obviously when you feel like you have an edge and then you just bet it and with the expectation of winning money. But also even I don't necessarily have an edge. It's just fun to handicap stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we got 2 very interesting NHL series coming up to handicap this evening, Jim, right?
Extremely interesting, absolutely.
Extremely interesting. And we will get into that. But first, we're going to get into MLB because we got a whole bunch of MLB games tonight, right? In the daytime, right, Jim?
Yeah, man. Listen, the GOAT coming in saying 7-1 yesterday, thanks to Loshak in the Bag.
Oh, very nice.
Let's get more money. Nice work, GOAT. Skooma Steve, 3-1 in MLB, 2-1 in NHL, feeling pretty good.
Very, very nice. All right, we are going to get into some serious baseball handicapping here, Jimmy the Bag. But first, we are going to tell them about Betmania.
Yes.
How about that? I mean, I've been telling about you, but at this point, you know about Betmania, right? What do they got? Reduced use? Now, you said something. You were like, what the fuck were you? Half point? Well, I kept hearing it. They have a half point? What is that?
Yes, it's happy hour. Happy hour between 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern. They will take a half point off any total and any spread.
Damn, that's a good idea. I mean, that's a treacherous idea. You know, but I guess they know what they're doing, right?
I like that idea. I think
That's
it's
a
cool.
great idea.
Yeah.
They could get burned, though, Jim.
Half points are important, as we
They
know.
certainly are. That is at Betmania. And, of course, in addition to that, they have reduced juice in MLB, dime lines, and they have reduced juice in the NBA and NHL playoffs. And if you want to sign up with Betmania, please use the link in the description box of this video so that SBR ownership, SBR brass, and SBR hires up can see it and see it as a KPI and be like, these guys, I'll be damned. Look at that. They nailed a KPI here, right?
Yeah, and we have an account, so we're gonna start betting. We're gonna start using our Betmania account on the show and to do some challenges and stuff like that. That's gonna be coming very soon. Exciting Rockstar coming in saying, "Morning, fellas. Thanks to all the amazing cappers, along with Pete and Jimmy." With the greatest capping show in existence, I'm having the best MLB start in over 20 years.
Yes, you know why? Because he's doing a little thing that we can call listening. He's listening. You know what I'm saying?
Working as a team.
Jim, you're listening. Me, not listening that well, but I'm going to try. One thing that I haven't been listening to you guys on is the Coors Field Fade. Is there a Coors game today? There is, isn't there?
No, we have a break. We have a break until the 8th.
So what are you going to do for units until then?
Hey, man, I would like to see my units up on the big screen.
All right, let's throw it up. Let's throw it. Now we'll go into MLB. Let's throw it up. I can tell you what they are because, of course, I keep track of these very religiously, and I never make a mistake. 17.3 units, I believe, is what it is. Mine actually aren't. I'm down about 6.5 units, but I've been creeping back into lower single digits, and it's just because earlier in the year I tripled up on a few obviously stupid plays and put myself in a major hole. But I'm feeling like I have an okay read on MLB as well. Certainly feel like I can contribute some stuff that is worth listening to, that you can take and add to your entire the decision-making process in your head, and maybe you too can go 7-1 in MLB. Jim, let's start with you today. What would you like to share with us in MLB? Let's get the day games out of the way first.
I'm on the over in Braves Reds. Newcomb versus Bailey. Game time temp 60 Fahrenheit wind, very soft. Acuna Jr., MLB's #1 prospect, other than Ohtani.
Yes.
Provided a spark that I expected him to. We took some heat for taking the Braves yesterday, and they came through in the end.
Then we took some units.
Yeah. And the Reds bullpen shit the bed again.
Yeah.
And Acuna Jr., not only is he going to be a beast on the field, but it's a spark in the clubhouse. He's also Ozzie Albies' best friend, and Ozzie Albies has got off to a great start. Acuna singled for his first major league hit in the 8th, went on to score the tying run, was a beast this spring, 432, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, 432 average. Newcomb has a 3.74 ERA, 1.52 whip. He's been pitching pretty well. But The Reds are destroying lefties. It's the only thing they're doing well this year. They're hitting 270 with an 800 OPS versus lefties. We know the Braves are smashing everybody. Bailey's being much better than we expected. But do you see him as a 3.68 ERA, 1.16 whip guy?
Yeah. No, I do not. I think he's like, we'll take it start by start and situation by situation. I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at taking Atlanta one way or another, or two ways or three ways or four ways. I was thinking about Atlanta on the second half over, maybe the Atlanta team total over, the second half over. My issue is just that Newcomb, it's just, he's got a lot of promise, but he has those old control issues. It's been the case his entire career.
Yeah, I think Newcomb is improving.
Sure.
Although 1.52 whip,
yeah.
But 27 Ks and 21 2/3 is a lot. A lot of walks, 11 walks. But the real issue here is that the Reds smash lefties. The question I have is, I already got the over at 9, and somebody mentioned early on this that the over was 9.5 now. I hope they're still hanging at 9. I'll be very upset if I
on the over. Let me find it. And Native Queen, the Oracle for first-time viewers, has chimed in. Atlanta scores first, which makes a lot of sense to me, Jim. That one makes sense to me. Let's see. The total on this one is 9. Yes, we can give you 9 minus 115, in fact, at the Greek.
Beautiful.
All right, I don't have I'm going to have to type it in here. So we're going to give you, let me just bring this up here. You're going to take Atlanta over 9 minus 115. I'm definitely going to have some plays on this game. Let me just think about it for a second. I'm thinking about like Atlanta team total overs. I'm definitely thinking about Atlanta on the second half. Atlanta's bullpen is no great shakes either, but Cincinnati has a bad bullpen, and I just feel like as a team, we give Atlanta a big edge here, right?
We do. We do. I mean,
no.
No. At this point in the year, we do. Yeah. I do think the Reds' bats will heat up, and I do think their young pitchers will improve. But there's no question right now. The Braves just have a good vibe, and especially with the Tuna Jr. coming up, I think that's a great move. So we got our cappers joining us, ready to work together here, which is wonderful. Also, my man Brent Brooks is joining us. As I've been struggling in the NHL playoffs, you've been hitting very hard. Brent Brooks has been destroying it.
Really?
Absolutely killing it. He had the Bruins on the puck line last night. He just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. Follow him on Twitter.
I thought Bruins was the play. It was just I got spooked by the minus 170, but I realized looking back on it, like one of those Yankees, I've had the balls take Yankees on these minus 170s, minus 180 home money lines, and that's been paying off. And it just the spot favored the Bruins so much, I thought.
It certainly did. Everything can be fixed with the Penguins climbing.
Shadow, best show in the bloody multiverse. Now that's an educated motherfucker right there. Awesome. That's the guy who's looking towards the future, who understands where we're headed as a species. Best show in the bloody universe. Go ahead.
Native Queen also on the Atlanta full game. Yeah. Orphan Salamander, Braves score first, Tigers score first, Atlanta over. And we have Mark Lathrop joining us, which is great. A huge asset for us. Like it. And Brant Hunt says, give your boy some love. He was on the under in that Cavs game.
Very nice. Weren't we too? Oh, no, in the Cavs game. That shout out to Brant Hunt, although I broke even on the first half stop, but shout out to Brant Hunt. That was clearly the right play. Vince Harlan, Jimmy the Bag. Yeah, all sharps are on Cincy.
And the over. Well, I'm not on Atlanta. Right. I'm just on the over. So Vince Harlan only gives me more confidence in my action. I like the over here. And I want to have both teams' offenses. I'm not going to take team totals on this spot.
Yeah. All right. For now, I'm going to take Atlanta on the second half.
Okay. No worries.
I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take Atlanta team total over, but I'm going to just check that out. And Jimmy, why don't you hit us up with another game that you are thinking about giving, or sure that you're going to give?
I am sure that I'm giving the Yankees on the run line and the Yankees team total over. I do not trust Kyle Gibson at all. Wind is blowing out strong over right center. Game time 1063 Fahrenheit. Yankees have won 5 straight, going for the sweep. They've outscored the Twins 29-8 in this series. Gregorius is having maybe the best month of a shortstop in the history of the sport. 372, 9 homers, major league leading 29 RBIs, hitting 451, all 9 of his homers and 25 RBIs at home at Yankee Stadium. Twins are on a 6-game losing streak, outscored 55-22, hitting 227 over the skid. Gibson 4.29 ERA, 1.43 whip, but in his last 3 starts since a great opening start, he had 6 hitless innings March 31st. Since then, 1-4 with I don't even have his number since then, but he's looked bad. Oh, no, sorry, there it is. 6.00 ERA since that opening start. He's got a 9.31 ERA against the Yankees. Highest ERA against any team he's made at least 2 starts against. Montgomery's pitching great. Very good. Better than I expected him to pitch. He's unbeaten in his last 9 starts. Yeah. He's 4-1 with a 3.41 ERA since August 5th of last season. With men on base this season, opponents are hitting 220. With runners in scoring position, he's allowing a 130 average. I left money on the table. I've actually money has left my pocket because I haven't been back in these days, and I took the Twins on the first 5 game 2, and then on game 1. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. Maybe I'm too late to the party, but I'm taking Yankees -1.5 and the team total over.
Okay, let me just get you the line on that one. I think I'm going to be going the same way. Let me see. The Yankees -1.5. The Yankees -1.5 will be -110 at Pinnacle. -110 at Pinnacle. Let me just give you that one.
Thank
Yanks
you.
run line -110, and you want the team total over.
I do.
If you want to check another book, I'm going to check Heritage and Pinnacle right now. Heritage has let me see. The first 5 innings is 3 -115. Let me go on. What are you seeing there, Jim? I am seeing for the Yankees team total over 5 -146 at Pinnacle, and then at Heritage here I am seeing 5.5 -120.
5.5 -120. Wow.
And
Let me
5 -146.
I'll definitely. Oh God, that's a tough one. Let me just quickly see what Bet365 is offering.
Yeah. In the meantime, look, I bet this one. I bet the Yankees -1. I got a way better number. I think I got like -198 or something on the money line when it opened. It's now jumped up to bookmaker still has -200, which is very nice. Let me see if that's a stale line. Make sure it's not. Yeah, that is a stale line. Damn. I'm gonna have to take a pretty big line here, but I will take it. I'm gonna take the Yankees -1. I bet this one on the overnight line. I got a better number than what is being offered right now. And let me just find the best line here. -208 at BetOnline is going to be the money line, and once again -110 is going to be the run line. As with what Jimmy is taking. And what do you want to do with the Yankees team total? The first 5 innings is 3. You could do that.
I'm not going to do that. I want this bullpen's getting destroyed, and even though I'm really fading Gibson here, I would rather have the whole game. Please give me something better here. Yeah, same deal. Over 5.5 at -120.
Yep. We could give you 5 -142, and then if you eat a unit and a half of loss, -146. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I don't see a huge difference between -120 and -146. I'm gonna take the over 5 -146.
Jim's gonna take the Yanks team total over 5 -146. If Gibson holds them to 4 or fewer runs, good for him. Congratulations, right, Jim?
Yeah, I really don't see that happening. I want to give a quick shout out to Molly Mall, killing NBA. God, that was about as angry as I've been. I woke up very depressed. With the Raptors covering the full game and missing the first quarter and first half. But it just it got to me, and I don't know. It just I was just fucking depressed and angry this morning. And Mally Mal, Jimmy told you Wizards first quarter, Pacers first quarter, full game Raps. Full game Utah. No, that didn't go through. And first quarter OKC. Utah first quarter. Sorry, Raps full game, Utah first quarter, OKC full game. Those all hit, Mally Mall. Excellent job. We're working with a ton of great cappers here, man.
And I was feeling bad about my OKC pick until the very end of the late show yesterday, and Mally Mall said, I'm on OKC. OKC will win, Pete. And I was like, fine, no problem. I even pounded them on the second half, Jim.
Nice work.
First for a full game. I am also taking the Yankees on the second half -125. So I'm on the Yankees -1. I'm on the Yankees second half -125. And Jim's going to take the Yankees run line and the Yankees team total over 5 -146. And I might throw that one on there as well myself.
Vince Harlan coming in saying huge sharp play on the under lean under today though in this Yankees game. And I don't. That's not. That doesn't bother me too much. I do think Montgomery's going to continue to pitch great. And quick look at the Twins hitting lefties. They're terrible. The 231 average isn't that bad, but 641 OPS.
Right.
They're not hitting it all versus lefties. So I can sort of understand that, and I don't hate it. And I don't hate. Oh, let's see what my man Noshak says. Nice call like that. I just chose to play it first 5.
All right. By the way, I'm a little bit dazed. I'm a little bit sick, but I've seen a lot of freaking comments coming in here saying we're the best people on earth. The commenters are the best commenters on earth. And I just want to say thanks. That shit buoys me, Jim.
Oh, man. If I didn't have this show, man, I'd be wallowing. I'd be drunk right now. It's 10:14 a.m.
Shout out to every motherfucker in this show. We love you. All right. Let's jump to the Detroit-Pittsburgh game, Jim, because that goes off in about 20 minutes. Fulmer against Nova. Nova's been pitching well. Fulmer also been pitching pretty well. And his one home start, though, wasn't quite that great. I'm looking at here. I'm thinking maybe a shot with the second half over if it's 3. I could see a first half under. I could see Detroit on the second half, which I think I'm going to take. As I've noted, Jim, despite the fact that they have an uninspiring bullpen here, so does Pittsburgh, by the way. Detroit just has been a great second half team so far this year.
They sure have. I mean, we saw the amount of runs they had after the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th on their huge bulk of their runs coming very late in games, which probably should regress. I mean, it's kind of nuts that it is like that. But, my first move was wanting to take this first 5 under. Both Fulmer and Nova are pitching very well. And I was afraid because of how well both teams are hitting all of a sudden. Wind's non-issue, blowing out softly, 55 Fahrenheit. So at least the weather's improving a bit in Pittsburgh. Pirates stopped a 5-game losing streak in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Tigers won 6-9. Both these pitchers are pitching well. Fulmer got lit up in that one start in Cleveland, came back and pitched great. 3.47 ERA, 1.37 whip. Only career start for Fulmer against the Pirates came during this season opening series. He pitched great. Allowed 1 run, 4 hits, 8 innings, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, pitching within himself, pitched great. Last time out, Fulmer recorded another quality start, didn't get the decision. 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 7 innings against Kansas City. Nova doing the same thing, 2-0 in his past 3 starts, but like Fulmer coming off a strong outing with no decision. Both these teams are hitting well, almost identical. 258, 744 OPS for the Tigers, 259, 745 OPS. I want to take this first 5 under, but it's 4 and Native Queen's on the first 5 under.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It's just like, you see this a lot in MLB. A guy who, 2 pitchers who are, good but not great, have been pitching well in a small sample size, and you're just wondering, are they going to continue? Are they likely to keep doing it for one more start or not? That's what baseball's all about, Jim, most of the time.
I hear you.
Unless you do what I did last year, which is just stick to low-hanging fruit. Now, if I was doing this last year, I would say, yes, first 5 innings under might be a good play, but I'm just sticking to low-hanging fruit. But then you might be leaving a lot of money on the table. If you stuck to just low-hanging fruit here this year, Jim, you would have left 10, 12, 15 units on the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't need – it's going to be too difficult, I think, to just – I don't know. I'm trying to cut down slightly on the amount of bets I make, but if I only try to find low-hanging fruit, I do think I'll miss plays that seem the right plays.
No question.
4 is just a little. If they were hanging a 4.5, are they hanging a 4.5?
They are not, Jimmy the Bag. They might have at some point earlier, but right now Pinnacle's at 4 plus 103. Scanning SBR odds here, and we're seeing some 4s plus 105 at Heritage, which is nice, but no 4.5.
I think I should take it. Roger T making a great point here, saying Tigers and Pirates had a doubleheader yesterday. They are tired. We know that Native Queen's already on the first 5 under. You liked it as a play.
I mean, I don't know if I liked it as a play. I just thought it was the obvious first thought that you would have.
And Nostra, my man Nostra says Tigers first 5, nice value in my opinion. They need to get to that Tigers pen. And not applicable says over in the game. Nice. Jazzy B driving, but here with us.
Oh, very, very nice. Jazzy B. Shout out to Jazzy B.
Yeah,
a Native Queen. Pit score first and first 5 under. Wow. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Mr. Gokes is right. These teams are smashing. Mr. Stubby says, my father who bet every day of his life never bet more than 2 games a day. No, it's a good example. And Brad Summersell says over in Pirates, Tigers again today. And then Tom Williams says Detroit under in the first 5 innings. Q Wilson saying Tigers not that playing well in daytime. I only have, 17 minutes before I need to make this play. Native Queen says going to take the 4, but love 4.5. If the score 5 would still lose with the 4.5. But if I hit 4, a push, which is still a win because I'll get my money back. Yeah, so you need to hit the 3. I'm going to stay off of it. I think it's a good play. And Dom Reach said this could be one of those first 5 under and over 4 game. I'm gonna leave this off. You're right. We should focus on low hanging fruit, not lukewarm moves.
I'm leaning to Detroit second half, but I'm going to hold off on that one as well. That's just a lean for me right now. Now let's move on to Arizona, Philly, and Yankees and Mets, St. Louis. Those are both at 1:00 Eastern time. I was thinking maybe about unders in the Arizona Philly game, the Mets St. Louis game. Look at that, Martinez. Look at that,
pitching very well.
Awesome. Let's give him credit.
He's pitching very well. He's never been able to do that through a full season except his rookie campaign. Maybe?
I mean, he's had some flashes. Yeah, never for a full season, but he's had some flashes.
He's had some flashes, and there's no way. I'm not going to take Thor here and be confident. I mean, there's no doubt Martinez is pitching very, very well. These pitchers met on opening day, and Martinez, looked terrible. But since then, he's been so in that first start, 6 walks and 4 1/3. charged with 5 runs, 4 hits, struck out 5. He's always pitched well against the Mets, 3.08 ERA. Pitching extremely well right now. Allowed 1 run in his last 4 starts and 27 and a third. I'm certainly not going to fade him, even though I'm not a big fan. Syndergaard, he's not pitching quite as well as I expected to do. He's still pitching well. I mean, 3.29 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 39 Ks through 27 and a third. I guess when he starts pitching better, we'll probably see that strikeout rate go down a little bit. Right? He doesn't need to. I mean, I guess he's throwing 100 miles an hour. He wants to strike everybody out, but I don't know. Molly Mall says Cardinals strong at home, and Todd Raymond says Mets Cards over 7. I mean, that certainly was the play on opening day.
Yeah, I got scared yesterday, and that game went to 8. I took it back, which was in retrospect a bad move. But you get a lot of 1-run, half-run wins and losses in MLB. A lot of comments coming in. Dom Ricci, I think Noah pitches well today for the Mets. He's been hit with some bad weather, windy conditions. He's due. I like this first 5 under. Okay, Todd Raymond, Diamondbacks plus money. I'm on it. Robert Bertoni score in the first inning of the St. Louis game. That's interesting. That's got to be a big underdog line there.
Yeah, that would be
a nice. What else do we have? Here? Mr. Gokster, St. Louis Mets first 5 under. What do you think, Jim?
I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with this spot. Excellent pitching. So, I mean, what would we get on the first 5 under?
For what? Which one? For the Mets,
for
Mets St. Louis? I think you're looking at a 3.5. Let's see what you're looking at. 3.5. But 3.5 minus 3.5 plus 100 at you wager. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm going to stay off of it. These are 2 good offenses hitting well right now. What exactly are they hitting? I guess not. Cardinals are hitting well. 247, 746 OPS. Mets are hitting 234, 710 OPS. That number's been dropping. I love the Mets bullpen. I don't have a play on this. This is a tough one.
Okay, now let's talk about Arizona, Philly. Lively and Coach Coke have been doing pretty well. I mean, just 1 start for Coke, but he did well. Lively, I know you've been kind of high on him to start. We're getting a nice, healthy little total here of 9. What do you think? First 5 innings under, full game under. I was thinking maybe a shot with Arizona as a dog. What do you think about this game, Jim?
Arizona is a great. These are 2 great. Should I say great? Can we say great yet?
Yes, you can. You can say whatever
they're
you want.
really good baseball teams.
Oh yeah.
Diamondbacks won 7 straight series. They need to win in the finale here to keep that streak alive. Arizona's 8-game winning streak at Citizens Bank Park came to a close, and as any streak against the Phillies is going to come to a close. They're 10-2 at home. Both pitchers are coming off good starts. Coke, as you said, 1 start, 1 relief appearance, and he's looked great. 1.13 ERA, 0.5 a WHIP, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Lively didn't start very well. But last start marked the first time in the 4 starts he's pitched 6 innings. Also the first time he gave up fewer than 6 hits. Faced the Diamondbacks twice last season. Didn't go very well, but he's a young, improving pitcher, so I don't care that much about that. The Phillies keep winning, and they're the 698 OPS, and both these teams aren't hitting very well, and they keep winning. They're good ball clubs. Todd Raymond says value on the D-backs. Kevin K says Arizona reverse run line considering it. Jason Park, new commenter that nice to have you. Jason says fade Lively. Yellow Jesus. Yellow Jesus. Nice.
Balls will fly out today. It's fucking beautiful in Philly right now. And that total has been getting bet up, Jim. I was thinking about, the under, kind of a high total with some nice young arms there, but it is getting bet up. Opened at 8.5. It's now up to a 9 juiced.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we just don't have a ton of tape on Coke, and I like what I've seen. So this is another play that I don't have a. I mean, the plays I gave you, the first 3 plays are plays I already bet, sent out, tweeted, believe in, and my next play that I like the most out of these games that are starting before our show was just that first 5 under, which I decided not to take. So
all right, let's get to some comments and then we'll move on because there's some comments coming in, Jim. You know what I'm saying? We're all going to be dead soon. We got to live for these comments, Jim.
Sure.
Carlos Luders, the value is in the over at Philly. Value is in the over at Philly. Carlos Perot says, at Pete, drink some lean and smoke some crack. You'll feel better. Will do, Carlos Perot. Thanks for the health tip. Sean Nguyen says Philly is 2 hours ahead of Arizona. That might play in effect for Arizona. Yes, it is. I mean, that's, in football, that's a big deal, and it might play into effect here. I was thinking about a shot with Arizona on the second half as well. The Golf Nut 10 says my world comes to a halt when this show is on. Thank you so much, Golf Nut.
I love the Golf Nut.
Check this shit out. Native Queen, probably the single most respected commenter of all the commenters, says This is the realest show on SBR. Just like Iggy Azalea, Jim. We're the fucking Iggy Azalea of fucking sports betting. Yes, we are.
No.
We're the realists. You know Iggy Azalea?
I do. And
she's the realist, and so are we.
She's a fraud, man.
Is she?
She's a fraud, man.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, we're
what
still
about the Cash Me Outside. You like?
Yes, we're still the realists. We're still the realists, even if maybe it doesn't apply to other people who have claimed that, because we're not claiming it. Native Queen is claiming it. Thank you so much, Native Queen. All right, let's see what else do we have going on here, Jim. Let's move on to the 6 o'clock Seattle Cleveland game, and then let's take one more review of the 1 o'clock games just to make sure there's nothing that I'm missing. Paxton and Clevenger. I want to go to this one just because it's very interesting. Clevenger coming off a great start, right? Paxton been, a little bit subpar what some of his, expectations and hopes were for this year, right?
Well, man, coming from a Canadian baseball fan, I had huge expectations for Paxton. I thought he was clearly the number one guy in Seattle. And I love Clevenger, and I defended him when you guys talked about his mechanics not being so sound.
Yeah.
And then he threw a complete game.
Yeah,
Two hitters shutout.
It feels like a down spot for him here, and it feels like Paxton is going to maybe be a little bit more, serviceable here, shall we say. Feels like we're going to get a 6-inning, 2 or 3 run start at worst from Paxton, and the Clevenger might actually get pounded. I was thinking Seattle first half. I was thinking Cleveland second half. I was thinking maybe Seattle team total over. I don't know, Jim. What do you think?
I'm uncomfortable with this spot. It's another cold game, in Cleveland. I watched that game yesterday. I was going back and forth because they had right across the street from each other, the Cavs game and the Indians game. Indians just signed Melky Cabrera as a sign of how weak their outfielders have been. The 251, 3 home runs, 17 RBIs from their outfielders. That's awful. Andrew Miller tweaked his hamstring, so that's going to hurt the Indians again moving forward. What are we going to get from Paxton moving forward? He's still striking out, 34 strikeouts in 25 and 2/3, but 12 walks.
I have a feeling we're going to get frustration from him going forward. I think we're going to see innings and like chunks of innings where he looks like, one of the elite starters in baseball, and then other innings where he just kind of not really shits the bed, but lets a couple runs through. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be very frustrating. I think there's a lot of people who are going to time a great start from him and get a little bit burned. You know what I'm saying? Maybe bailed out if the Seattle offense shows up, but maybe not. There'll be a lot of people betting on Paxton first 5 innings and lose 2-1. You know what I'm saying?
I think you might be bang on, and I don't like hearing it, but you might be bang on. We have a first-time commenter, Previous Taylor.
Oh shit!
Previous Taylor, welcome, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the show, Previous Taylor.
I love Clevenger. I like him. I think he's a clutch guy. I think he's a big help to their starting rotation. Even though it's an excellent starting rotation, but they still need someone to replace Tomlin, it looks like. 1.75 ERA, 1.05 whip. Throwing within himself, 17 Ks and 25 and 2/3, coming off that beautiful 2-hit shutout complete game. Indians can't hit lefties at all.
Yeah.
209, 629 OPS. Yeah, through just 220 at-bats. But my God, I mean, they look awful against lefties. They look awful against... They're starting to hit a bit against righties. I shouldn't say look awful. But I did hit with the under yesterday in the Indians game, which I felt was very simple. These teams aren't hitting.
Here you go, Mark Lathrop. We like Mark Lathrop.
Yes, we do.
This guy is all business, no joke. Clevenger getting hit does not pitch well in games after he goes heavy innings the game before. That's what I was thinking, Jim.
Wow.
I was thinking about Seattle team total over. I was thinking about Seattle first 5, maybe Cleveland second half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a play on this in the morning. What time does this go off at?
6 o'clock Eastern time. So 6:10 Eastern time.
I don't have a play on it yet. I'm going to need some more time. I'm curious to hear what Tomor says. I think Clevenger had one good year when no one had seen him. I don't believe in him long term. I feel like I'm the only guy that believes in this kid.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Thankfully, our commenters said exactly why they don't like him. Kobe Valentine, a former professional athlete, specifically said he doesn't like his mechanics. And
then he throws a complete game 2-hit shutout.
But mechanics are something that has to be repeatable if you're going to be betting on someone game in and game out like Corey Kluber. Someone whose mechanics are off is going to do like what Mark Lathrop is predicting here. 7-inning, 10 strikeout shutout, comes in next game, gets shelled. You know what I'm saying, Jim? That's exactly what mechanics. That's why all those big, geeky 6'10" left-handers are so frustrating and inconsistent, because they come in, they look unhittable one start or one relief appearance, and then they come in the next start, their mechanics are all off. They're walking 8 guys, then they're given a grand slam home run from the 3 guys they walked, and that's because it's hard to have mechanics if you're a tall, geeky guy with glasses. You know what that's from?
What's that from?
Spinal Tap. We're talking about his old drummer, tall, geeky guy with glasses.
Best Gambler comes in and says, I agree with Jimmy. I like him. Thank you. I like this kid, man. Dan Kelly, Clevenger's stats since August 1st make him as good as any pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that necessarily Kobe Valentine and the others were saying that he's a bad pitcher. I think they're identifying signs of trouble that may lead him to be overvalued. And, you know, right now you're getting Seattle with Paxton starting at almost even money. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah.
I mean, at one point last year, 2 years ago, that would have been unheard of, right?
Yeah, that would have been. You're right. Yeah, Mally Mall says Paxton gives up 4 runs in the first inning, leading score in first. Yes. Yeah, I'm in a non-applicable says Fade Archer. When is Archer had? Well, I shouldn't get to that game until we get there.
That's okay. You want to make it? You want to make a decision?
I'm not making a play on this at this point.
Okay. Why don't you talk about the Archer game if you want to, Jim, while I make some final decisions on these early games? Okay.
Is Archer going to start pitching better? You know, Al Mack, a guy I love capping with, he's on Archer today. And I find that very difficult to do, even though he had a nice start last. I think Dylan Bundy is an ace, and he's at home, and it's 67 Fahrenheit. You know, he's the only person playing well in this whole Oriole fucking uniform, in an Oriole uniform. Archer has completed at least 6 innings only 3 times in his last 11 starts, but one of those came last start. He looked good, 6 2/3, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and a no decision. Archer 5-8, 4.81 ERA against Baltimore. Bundy's a beast. Bundy's a great pitcher. 31 2/3, 40 Ks, 1.42 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. I can't believe the Rays are easily out hitting the Orioles. The Rays are hitting. You know, I want to take the Orioles here, and I want to know what kind of line I'd get. Let's
see. I can find it for you, Jim. Let's see. Orioles line has, gotten bet a little bit down from the opener. Best line we can give you right now, unless a stale line, would be a bookmaker minus 116. Bookmaker does have some stale lines. Let me click on that one. Nope, we give you minus 116 on Baltimore.
Kobe says Archer on the road is significantly better than what he does at home. I think Archer does well away from Tampa.
He might have some mental issues. You know, he might be one of those guys who's impacted by pitching in a park which can be very pitcher friendly, where he just thinks he's not going to get any run support at home.
Yellow Jesus. Yellow Jesus says Bundy gonna mow this fucking lineup down.
Mark Lathrop, guy who doesn't fuck around. Archer is a fake. Wow, that's a strong word. Baltimore is the play here.
That is
no hesitation there.
Joshua Turnage wants to know if we're going to touch on the NFL draft tonight. So maybe we'll get a chance to touch on that later.
Sure.
Mark Lathrop says, roll with me on the Orioles money line today, sir. That's all I need.
You want it, Jim?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to give you Baltimore minus 116. We're going to give it to you Baltimore money line minus 116. Let me look at what I was thinking here. I was actually thinking about, the Baltimore first 5 innings team total over if I could get 2, and then maybe on Tampa Bay on the second half. Let me see if there's you know, Archer can be so good, but it feels like at some point in the first 5 innings he can give up a home run.
Yes,
if there's one guy on base already. You got to push on that. You know.
Yeah, I expect I do expect him to pitch better as we move forward in the season, obviously. 6.59 ERA, 1.46 WHIP. But when you have Yellow Jesus and Mark Lathrop on the same side, man.
What are they like in Baltimore, huh?
Yeah, I'm on that side with them.
All right, I'm gonna take Baltimore first 5 innings over 2 minus 105. I am taking it. Baltimore first 5 team total over 2 minus 105. If Archer comes in and shuts people down. Kobe Valentine says Archer's much better on the road. I mean, he does have lights out stuff when he's mowing people down. You know.
He does,
but he just hasn't had it this year. And Baltimore's not good against righties. The worst team as of actually, according to my ratings, against righties this year.
Yeah, well, they're not hitting anybody.
They're not hitting anybody.
Kobe says Tampa Bay's won 6 of its last 7 games against Baltimore. Rays have won 4 straight entering the series and face a weak hitting opponent. Orioles are hitting just 215.
Yeah,
I'm at 213. But yeah, man. And Max, man, Max says don't waste your money, Jim. Yeah,
he says don't waste your money.
Yeah, he does not like me on the Orioles. Seriously says Tampa's hot right now.
That's not very good to hear. All right, and I'm also going to take Tampa Bay second half money line minus 115. So I'm taking Baltimore first 5 innings, team total over 2 minus 105, and Tampa Bay second half minus 115. I'm going 2 ways on that one. The 2-12-35 games, they've already started. Let's pass on those. Let's talk about the Boston-Toronto game. Of course, Chris Sale came out on the wrong side of a no-hitter in his last start, which was called. Who was it? Someone called it in our chat. Not even bullshitting you. I'm not lying. Who called it? Someone called it.
Sorry, Native Queen's asking a question that I'll get to in a second. What did you say?
Someone called, not a no-hitter, but someone called that the A's were going to beat a Sale. Remember?
Oh, yeah, Nostra Tota.
That was Nostra Tota?
Yeah, Nostra Tota.
Man, that is unreal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we see a bounce back here from Sale. Sale's done well recent years at Rogers Center, and feels like a spot where it's okay for, Sale's feels like he's gonna bear down, and I think I'd be willing to take Boston -1 at -160 or whatever.
Yeah, I can hear that. And just before I hammer this game with you, Native Queen asks, and I would love to hear this as well. She says, could you ask Pete if there's time in the wrap-up or whenever you're available to do it, it could be anytime, that you could give us a rundown of your best and worst bullpen? Absolutely.
I have it here. And actually with my bullpen, there's I use a bunch of what most people consider to be predictive stats. And I have them all lined up and next to each other, and I'll sort of eyeball it like with a bunch of predictive stats together. So I kind of eyeball them, and I will certainly do that. Absolutely. In fact, you want me to do it right now, Jim?
I would love that. Why don't we do that now, and then we'll finish off this Toronto Jays game.
All right. Well, first let's talk about Chris Sale. Is he going to bounce back? And is Boston a good play at even at -195?
Well, I'll tell you that Brent Brooks is on the over in Toronto, Boston, and right below our friend Udon Porn, Ratanafakti on Toronto team total under. Not applicable likes the Red Sox here, and Mally Mall says Boston first 5 is great. And Nostra Tota telling Max that Bundy is the truth, Max. And Sale, 1.86 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. He's a great pitcher. And the Jays are hitting righties much harder than they're hitting lefties. They just have a 663 OPS through 254 at-bats versus lefties. Red Sox are hitting everything and everybody. I mean, they're hitting lefties. They're just, they lead the league in batting average of 271. 796 OPS. I believe that's only below the Yankees, who are the only team in the 800s. I think I'm going to need a little bit more time on this, but I can completely understand why you guys are on.
Now, this is one of these games. Last year, I had some success taking first 5-inning team total unders with Corey Kluber, 1.5, and repeatedly I would cash with that one, and then Cleveland would lose the game as a big favorite. This is another game where I'm willing to take a shot with the first 5 innings team total under. It is 1.5, so you're going to have to. So he has a cushion to give up 1 run, and the full game team total under for Toronto as well, which would be 3 -106. You didn't really. It's just kind of an obvious play. How awesome exactly is Chris Sale going to be is the big question here.
Well,
right?
Kobe giving us the stats against the Jays: 1.73 ERA, 5-1 over the last 3 seasons, 52 innings, 34 hits, 10 runs.
Yeah.
So he's allowing a run every 5 innings.
All right, I'm gonna take Boston -1. I did bet that one, even if Sale gives up a couple or 3 runs in the first 5 innings. If Boston pounds Estrada, you get bailed out, which is entirely possible, right, Jim? That lineup can bail you out in any spot, right? No,
I don't think either of these offenses are that strong, to be honest. I know that's crazy. I know, but when we see a Yankees offense or certain, I mean. I think the Red Sox offense is playing over their head, and I think the Jays offense is playing over their head too. Now, the Red Sox are hitting 271 with 796 OPS. They won't keep that up all year.
Yes.
So the 4-3 games that we've seen the last 2 nights between the Red Sox and Jays are what I expect to see moving forward.
All right, I'll take it. I'm going to take Boston -1. The money line -194. That's the line at BetOnline. The run line -127. That's the line at Pinnacle. If it loses, it loses. But I got to go with Sale.
One question: what would I get on the run line with Red Sox?
-127.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to make a move yet.
Now let's talk about actually Milwaukee-Chicago, Jim, and this is actually very sad. I have a really good read on Hendricks right now. You know why?
Why?
Because Dave Malinsky wrote about him in one of his last point blanks. Wrote that there's a lot of indicators that Hendricks is due for some serious regression. Great article. It's still up there. One of the last articles he wrote. Might have been the last one. And I read it, and I was like, man, I am going to fade Hendricks here. All of his peripherals that indicate that aren't reflected in like SIERA and ERA are looking bad, like his ground ball ratio, his swinging strikes, all that stuff are all significantly down from his career. And Dave Malinsky, great article. How do we say? Kudos to great Dave Malinsky. We love you wherever you are. Great article. And I'm just going to give him kudos for writing a great article about Hendricks.
Yeah, he's a huge loss to the handicap.
I mean, I had to mention it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, of course.
So nothing I'm thinking Milwaukee hits Hendricks here. Thinking about the over. Thinking about the Milwaukee team total over. Thinking about the first 5 innings over because Anderson can get hit as well. What do you think?
Yeah, Anderson's had such a strange year. I started this season by saying I think he's going to regress. I think we're going to get value fading him. And then he's allowed 6 home runs in 27 2/3, and he's still got a 3.25 ERA and a 1.05 WHIP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it feels like he's right and I'm right. I don't know exactly what we're going to get from Anderson moving forward. It's very, very strange, his statistical breakdown. But I like it. I think you're on the right track. I think there could be runs here. What is the total?
Well, the total opened at 8, I'm seeing here at Pinnacle, and has now jumped up market-wide to 8.5, so that would have been really nice to get that 8. It's understandable why the total is low, not because the wind is blowing in, but because both these starting pitchers overall on the season have some reasonable numbers. But I think we have reason to believe that they might be have pitched a little bit above their head so far this year.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Rojo Flo says Brewers run line. What would I just get on the Brewers money line?
Brewers money line would be plus, right now, best line would be plus 141 at Heritage.
That's pretty nice. That is very, very tempting.
I'm thinking about overs here. I'm thinking about Milwaukee team total over, which I'm guessing would be just 4 at a very modest line here.
Native Queen's already on the board. Boom, Atlanta scores first.
No way.
The Oracle.
Wow. Unbelievable. And Jim, you took the over. I didn't have the balls to throw them on at a -1 like I wanted to because the Sharps are on Cincinnati. But Native Queen is the one we should be listening to, Jim.
Always.
You know what I'm saying, Jim? All right. I'm thinking about overs right now on this Milwaukee Cubs game.
Yes, and I understand that. I don't know. I'm leaning towards taking the Brew Crew, but I'm not going to do anything at this point. I don't think, because this is a game I can make a move on. Oh, my man Scotty Rock saying Brewers money line all day, and Wolverine says Brewers money line value. Almac just sent in Brewers money line.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for now. I'm going to do Milwaukee Cubs first half over, which will be I'm seeing 4.5 minus 115 at Intertop's. Going to quickly check Pinnacle here to see if I can get better than 115. Yes, 111. I'm going to take the first half over 4.5 minus 111, and I'm also going to take the Milwaukee team total over for now, which is 3.5, and I might throw on some other stuff. Let me see the the first 5 innings for Milwaukee is just where is that one? Is 2 plus 105. Wow, 2 plus 105. That is at Pinnacle. I mean at Heritage. Wow. All right, let me just find my. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit foggy. All right, I'm gonna take Milwaukee team total over 3.5 minus 123. That's for sure. And I'm gonna check the first half for Milwaukee is 2 plus 110. I'm gonna take that one as well. I'm quadrupling up here, Jim. I'm gonna try to stack some units. Milwaukee first half team total over 2 plus 110. I'm taking that.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I trust in Dave Malinsky's analysis. I think he's right that Hendricks is in for some for worse stats than we've seen from him so far this year.
Oh, he's in no way by me not making a play am I saying that.
I know.
But I just think I'm going to need a little bit more time.
Sure.
You're taking.
I'm taking first 5 innings over 4.5 minus 111. Milwaukee team total over 3.5 minus 123, and Milwaukee first 5 innings team total over 2 plus 110.
Interesting. Okay.
And I might throw on some others. That's a game that goes at 8 o'clock Eastern time, so we'll be able to get to that in the evening show, Jim.
Yes, that's when I will hammer that for sure.
And then we just have the White Sox and KC. Obviously, Giolito having all kinds of serious control issues. Junis so far has been rolling, but no matter who's starting, it makes you feel very nervous to take KC as a minus 150 favorite, right?
Yes, and a little less nervous now that Perez is back, but yes, how could it not? And I mean, because minus 150, there's very little value. Do you take him on the run line? You can't trust the Royals' offense. And Giolito looks unbelievably bad. Like he's going to have to go down in the minors if he has another start. Like he had 19 walks in 20 innings, 9 Ks, 19 walks.
Is he going to turn it around here? Maybe. Is it likely? Hard to imagine.
It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine. I mean, remember when he got traded for Eaton? We thought this guy was going to be a stud. And I'm sure the White Sox thought the same thing too. This is another spot that I want to look into deeper.
Okay.
Rojo Flo says KC's won last 6 junior starts against teams with losing records. Royals all day. Yeah, I get it.
And I'd be leaning KC on the first half and maybe a shot with the White Sox on the second half, but I'm going to hold off on that one for now. Okay, the MLB plays that we have given. Jim has given Atlanta over 9 minus 115. Yankees run line minus 110. Yankees team total over 5 minus 146. And Baltimore money line minus 116. That's it, right, Jim?
That's it.
And I've taken Atlanta second half minus 130, Yanks minus 1, Yanks second half minus 119, Arizona second half Yanks second half minus 125, Arizona second half minus 119, Baltimore first 5 innings team total over 2 minus 105, Tampa Bay second half minus 115, Boston minus 1 with Chris Sale, and then 3 overs in the Milwaukee Cubs game. First 5 innings over 4.5, Milwaukee team total over 3.5, and the Milwaukee first half team total over 2 plus 110. And I might throw on a whole bunch more picks, try to stack units here and get into positive digits in the evening show, which we will do at 6 o'clock. Jim?
Scotty Rock Forever says new T-shirt idea in Loshak and Bag We Trust. And on the back, we have Pete and Jimmy on the back of a $100 bill.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
No Shatoda says, don't lay with bad teams. Lathrop says, White Sox and Royals is going to be the most boring game of the day. My pick is on the under. And Jansen Bonzen says, forgot how good gummy bears are.
I was thinking about a second half under here at minus 120, even though, the bullpens aren't anything to write home about. Once again, I'll just tell you right now, I have the Royals roughly rated as the second worst bullpen in the majors, dead even last with the Braves on the
Could you give us your top five bullpens and then bottom 5 bullpens?
Sure. Top 5 bullpens, no-brainer Yankees, no-brainer Indians, Padres, Brewers, and Astros.
Wow.
Okay. That's what I have right now, and that 5 is a small jump down to a number 6, which is a bunch of people who are down there, and then 2 worst bullpens by a pretty decent margin: Royals and Braves. They're dead even, head to head. Then after that, I have a bunch that are just kind of subpar: Reds, Tigers, Orioles, Rays, all subpar, and then you get into some mid-range bullpens. So those are my ratings as of right now for bullpens. Those are just rough ratings that I look at.
Very interesting. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, Yankees bullpen, unfucking real. 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. Oh. 13 strikeouts for 9 innings, leading the league in Sierra and an unlucky batting average on balls in play. Unbelievable, this Yankees bullpen so far. Things could change, but just unbelievable. Yankees 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. The number 2 bullpen is Brewers at 10.6 strikeouts per, tied with the Nationals at 10.6. So a jump of 2.5 strikeouts per 9 innings from Yankees all the way down to number 2. Wow.
And Dom Ricci, as covers, has top 5: Arizona, Toronto, Milwaukee, San Diego, Houston. They don't even have the Yankees in their top 5.
Okay.
Wow.
I would.
Okay. Don't worry, I got you.
They're definitely at 13 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is 2.5 strikeouts over the number 2 teams.
That's phenomenal. And even it goes to show that Milwaukee's got a pretty nice bullpen, because that's all happening without Nabel, who's out, right?
Yeah, I have Arizona rated nicely. Nice little bullpen there. Not top 5 though.
Okay, so we've got to go to NBA and NHL, but when we also want to touch on the draft. So whatever order you want down.
All right, so Hal Abrams saying, act Maxwell Smart, sorry I missed it. Who did he triple up on? I'm assuming so he can fade, just like with Cincinnati. Hal Abrams, I tripled up on overs in Milwaukee and the Cubs. I took Milwaukee team total over first 5 innings in full game, and I took the first 5 innings over on that one, and I might quadruple or quintuple up on that one. I might take Milwaukee -1. I might take the full game over at 8.5. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do know what you're saying.
I got to make up some units here. All right, let's see. Scotty Rock Forever. Jesus, Pete, get this man an oxygen machine. Yes, this is how I'm gonna be in the old age home, giving out plays and hosting videos. Take it first 5 over. 4.5 -111. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Let's move on to what should we move on to? NBA or NHL? We got 2 awesome games in NHL.
Whatever you'd like, man. Lots to talk about in either.
Let's move on to NHL. Let's start with Vegas and San Jose. Now, I think Vegas might win this one, but it ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to sweep anybody, Jim. And I think that this game goes 6 or 7 games. I actually did make a bet. I did take San Jose plus 1.5 games. I forgot what I got, but I did take San Jose plus 1.5 games. So if it goes to 7, I win. And if Vegas wins the series, I win. And if it goes to 7 games, I win as well, no matter who wins.
Wow.
I think this is going to be a tight series, Jim. Not Vegas might win it. But this is not going to be like San Jose has some real scoring pop that the Kings didn't have.
I don't know. I to be honest, I went down their roster this morning. Both rosters really, with a fine-tooth comb. And what I saw was they're Vegas might even have a touch without Thornton in the lineup. Might be even a tiny bit better at forward. I was the Sharks. If you look at their forward roster, I mean, some of these guys, they're okay. I mean, Kane's looked very good with Pavelski and Donskoy, but their second line, It's not that strong. I mean, I love Couture, no question about it. The big difference when you break down these rosters is the Sharks have Norris Trophy winner Brent Burns on the back end. I mean, that's the huge difference in these two rosters. But in saying that, the Knights just swept a team with the Norris Trophy winner on the back end, Doughty, and the Kings. Both teams are going to be rusty. Vegas hasn't played in 9 days. Sharks haven't played in 8 days. Vegas won the season series pretty easily, 3-0-1, although 2 games, I shouldn't say easily, 2 games were decided in overtime with another by just 1 goal. Both goalies are playing extremely well. Martin Jones, 1 point, he allowed 4 goals in that series, 970 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury has 3 cups and was dominant in that first round. 0.65 goals against average, 977 save percentage. My man Elio Rodriguez says, Jimmy, give a shout out to my mom Maria. She's watching the show on the big screen.
Why don't you give a shout out, Jimmy? She deserves better than what I'm going to be able to get right now.
Maria, thank you so much for watching the show here. We love your son. He's a huge asset.
Yes.
A huge asset to our capping here, and he's putting money directly into our wallets. You did a great job raising a great son.
Jensen Bonzone says Vegas defense is scary good. Scary good. Would you agree with that, Jim?
No. No, I wouldn't agree with that. But they're a very good hockey team. You know, I mean, we could break down their roster together. I mean, I would if I could have either defense. I mean, I wouldn't even think twice. I would lunge at the Sharks defense before. But let's go over their roster just so we can.
All right, I'm going to do one thing. We know that San Jose has been a second period team. I'm going to take them here, Jim, and I'm going to go to a Heritage right now. I'm going to find the second period line for San Jose. No brainer play for me. I'm taking it. Yeah. I would also be leaning maybe San Jose +1, something like that. I think Vegas is it's not disrespect to Vegas, but they're going to get a stiff test here. This is not going to, I mean, so is San Jose. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a tough series. I like my bet that it goes 7 games or actually San Jose +1.5, best of all. If it goes 7 games, I win. If San Jose wins in any way, I win.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get the play. I mean, now obviously you look at this roster on defense, they're very underrated players. So, I mean, then they're cast-offs from other team. But, I mean, Miller, Theodore, Schmidt, McNabb. I love England. I mean, he's a big boy. And it's so important to have that kind of the physicality and that truculence in the playoffs when you see each other every second night. But, man, I mean, this Sharks defense has been there and done it. I mean, both Brent Burns and Marc-Edouard Vlasic would probably be, well, for sure Burns, but maybe both of them would be on Team Canada if we went to the Olympics this year.
Well, I'm going to take San Jose's second period +115, Jim. That's an official play. You want to make a play on this game?
I'm not going to make a play yet, but I may make a play at some point. Khalif Lee's on the Sharks +130. Top Shelf Sniper says goaltending will win it for Vegas. Tomar says, I think this is a tie game late in the third. I'll take the plus price with San Jose. Brent Brooks says Brent Burns is a top 3 defenseman in the league. He certainly is. Al Mack says, can you guys throw up the old NHL record by chance?
Yeah, throw it up. Sorry. Throw that bitch up there. Throw that bitch up there. That's my record. That's my record up there. That's my record, and that's Jim's record up there. Look at that. Look at that. 33.5. We've had a couple of losers in the past few days, but that is nothing to sneeze at, Jim. Look at that. That's our records up there.
I'm very upset with my record.
Oh, don't be upset with your record. Don't be a negative ninny, Jim. It's awesome.
Big Gal Corleone says Sharks are making clean passes, playing faster, winning faceoffs, controlling the pace.
Yes.
Kevin K says Vegas wins in 5. Not applicable. Says Sharks in 5.
Wow. I would split the difference and say it's going to be very tight all the way down the line,
Yes, I don't think either team's going to win in 5.
What do you think about first period under? You think for this tight series, it's just going to come out, first period of the first game is just going to be unbelievably as tight as you've ever seen these two teams play?
I think game 4 will be like that, but these teams haven't played in 9 days and in 8 days.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that equates to more volatility and more offense and more mistakes.
All right, well, I'll be leaning first period under, but it is a -140 line, so I'm not going to take that one. I am going to take San Jose second period +115. I would be leaning second period over as well, which would be -135. We're leaning that way as well. Fleury's great, though, isn't he?
Fleury this season is being incredible and better than I expected him to be. I had I mean, if we remember even last year in the playoffs, he looked shaky at times for the Pens, and there was times where you wanted Murray back in net so badly. And now, I mean, look at what Fleury's just putting on a clinic.
Yeah.
So
Brent Brooks says Vegas is a different animal at home. They have been in the regular season, but maybe in the playoffs, some of the weird, hocus pocus, spooky stuff that went on in that. I mean, obviously but they were playing a terrible team in the first round that just couldn't score. This is going to be different.
And I don't think the Kings and Ducks were terrible teams. I just think the Golden Knights and the Sharks proved that they are very good hockey teams.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I might come back tonight and take one of these swing for the fences shots with an exact score. I kind of like those, Jim. Well, you have to be careful to make sure that you're getting decent odds. I might take a shot on that one. As of right now, I'm taking San Jose second period plus 115, slightly into the first period over, slightly into the second period. First period under, slightly into the second period over, and that is it for this game. You want to make any plays on this one?
Not yet, but very interesting. Look at some of the cappers that we love and respect so much. Tomor says everyone was so high on Anaheim coming into the playoffs. San Jose dominating them, and they're getting no respect. And then you hear the exact opposite just down the line from where did I do it? From Kevin K, who's in the great hockey capper, says Sharks are overvalued because they hammered the Ducks. The harder task was sweeping the Kings and their number one rated defense.
All right.
Well, I personally think the harder task was destroying the Ducks. I think the Ducks were a better team, but I've thought that the whole time. And it's just.
Well, you can certainly come back and make a play on this one in the 6 o'clock show, Jim.
Absolutely.
Now let's move on to maybe what's even a more interesting game. Pittsburgh against Washington. Is Malkin out? He's out.
Malkin's out.
Wow, that's not good. That's no good.
Hagelin's out too.
Yes, and of course these two teams, explosive, high-scoring teams, but the two series that they played in the playoffs the last 2 years were not that high-scoring. A lot of 5-goal games, 4-goal games, 6-goal games. They were not very explosive scoring. They were average-scoring games, right? So if you think you're going to come in here and just pound overs, maybe this year you'll cash, but the last 2 years you definitely didn't. I don't know, man. I'm thinking maybe Washington. Or do you think Pittsburgh rallies around without having Malkin and comes in here and lays the hammer on him?
Yes, I think it's no problem. No problem here. We got a wonderful comment from our friend Arthur Mead Jr. What a great guy. You want to?
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you so much because you know how much this means to me. Hello, Peter Loshak and Jimmy the Bag. This is the best show with the best quality. Thank you so much. SBR Sportsbook Review, SBR Brass, SBR Ownership, and SBR motherfucking hires up. Take note. All right, there you go.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Max says we got to get Pete a hot Costa Rican MILF to nurse him back to health.
When I read comments like that, I'm cool. I'm cool as a cucumber, baby.
Tomor says, I think Washington will put too much pressure on themselves to win this game. Now, I was very impressed with Ovechkin's comments. It did not sound like someone who's stressed and concerned and worried. He says it's just fun. That's why we worked so hard all year to be in this position. It's a big challenge for us, especially against Pittsburgh. It's always a rivalry, always lots of attention to this series, and it's fun. One day it has to happen. We want to get success. We have to beat Pittsburgh and move forward. They have the most experienced team right now in the league. Lots of great players. It's a huge challenge. Very impressed with what he had to say.
Here's what I do think. Mark my words. And this might actually apply to the entire series. If Washington gets up at any point, a goal or two, I think there might be some really nice value live betting the Penguins.
Yes, I think. Clearly, Washington's 1-9 all time in playoff series against Pittsburgh.
And also, Washington this year was particularly bad playing with a lead or even. So if Washington jumps out, and we saw that in the first games with Columbus last series. Remember I talked about that.
Absolutely.
If Washington, I'm not saying it's a lock, but you are going to get a big underdog line. Washington jumps out to a 1-goal lead or a 2-goal lead. That's what I'd be thinking. Live bet on Pittsburgh. Not necessarily to let it ride to the end, but maybe to hedge out later,
I hear you. Udon Point Ratina Facti has a question that may make me listen to his hockey capping a little bit less. He says, what the hell is icing?
I don't fucking know. What the fuck do I know? Udon Porn, Ratana Fact. Don't ask these hard questions with no warning. I don't know what icing in it is. I think it's when there's skating around, there's a lot of ice, and people are like, "Hey, everyone take a break. There's too much ice on you're all gonna skate into the boards. You're gonna, kill yourselves. There's too much ice." And then they clean the ice off the ice. They clean the extra ice off the ice. That's what it is.
You have to be past the red line. You have to have a player past the red line to dump it all the way in. You can't dump the puck down the length of the ice unless you are past the red line.
Oh, is that what it is? That's a good rule.
And we switched it. It used to be that the defending team had to touch the puck, but so many of our defensemen were separating their shoulder, rushing to touch the puck with a forward hitting them. So we just made it as soon as it crosses the line, we call it automatic face-off.
That's a really good rule. Otherwise, you'd have chaos. That's an awesome rule.
But I love you, Don Porn. Yes. We love you.
You, Don Porn, Ratina Facti, OC, original commenter. Awesome original commenter. All right, Jim. I don't know. I'd be leaning, if you gave me a free play right now, I'd throw it on Washington minus 123.
The big question is, what Holtby are you going to get? 1.92 goals against average, 932 save percentage since replacing Grubauer. Is that what we're going to get? I mean, he's a veteran who can step up right now. It's possible. And Matt Murray, 2.20 goals against average, 911 save percentage. There were times where he looked incredible, and there were times where he looked vulnerable, which seems to happen all the time. With him.
Look at this, Matt Elsey. Thought I would get away from this show while I was on my vacation, but I can't miss it. Thank you so much, Matt Elsey. Thank you so much, Matt Elsey. I don't care who sees that comment. I saw it. It makes me feel awesome. All right, Jim. You want to make a play on this game, or what are you going to do?
Well, we all know I have a ton of futures on Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I made them here on the show. I bet them big at the beginning of the year. Oh, do you know what? Actually, we found out. Parlay Poppy asked me what I got on my futures. I went back because with my local, it's all through email. So I went back, found my futures. I got better
in
the show before the playoffs started than I got at the beginning of the season.
Very, very nice. In the show, I believe Jim got plus 540 to win the East, and to win the Cup, I think it was like 1050 or something like that.
Or 1025.
Something like that. Yeah.
I got plus 850 at the beginning of the season.
Very, very nice.
Not really. That was upsetting. You'd think you'd get better at that time.
They were obviously, unless they had big injuries, going to be one of the teams that contended. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. You know what? Truly, I've got two. I don't want to compound losses, and I feel like that's what I would do if I made a bet on the Penguins here. So I have not hedged any of my Penguins action. I still have all my Nashville Predators futures action. So obviously, if the Capitals beat the Pens and the Jets beat the Predators, I'm in trouble.
All right. Well, I'm going to look into this one more in the afternoon, maybe make a decision, but I can tell you for sure, if Washington gets up a goal or 2 goals in this game, can be seriously thinking about making a live bet on Pittsburgh, and you'll get a big underdog line on that one too. And in San Jose, Vegas, lean to the first period under, lean to the second period over, and I did take San Jose plus 115 on the second period money line, and that's it for the NHL games tonight. Of course, we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time, breaking the hell out of these games down even more, right?
Even more
research, more comments.
Definitely. And I'm not going. I tell you what, if you want to know, if the Pens get past the Capitals, which I expect them to do, this is a very good Penguins team. Very good. It could be better than last year. So I expect them to step up. Now, they're probably the reason why. Smith is a fine backup. Now, yes, last year they had Fleury backing up, which is a nice thing to have. But I think they're a very good Penguins team. Yes, they're missing Malkin, but it's not like they didn't have him when they were beating up a good Philly team. So I think they'll be fine. And my only hedging will be I will take whoever comes out, which I expect Boston, even though they're very tired. I do think they're better than Tampa. If Boston plays Pittsburgh in the next round, I will take Boston to win the Cup.
Okay, all right.
That will be
Fair
my
enough.
only hedging that I will do.
All right, so let's move on to the one NBA game tonight, which is Boston at Milwaukee. Jim actually took 2 different Boston series prices. At the beginning, he took Boston to win the series at minus 153. Then the day I was out, he took Boston to win the series at minus 135. Of course, they're up 3-2 now, and I believe the current line is minus 300 on Boston. This is game 6. Milwaukee's at home. They're a favorite to push it to game 7. I have no opinion on this game as of right now. Do you have a pick on this one, Jim?
Well, again, I think I'm just going to compound losses, and I'm not going to bother hedging. I have $400 on Celtics to win the series. I have 2 units here on the show for them to win the series. I also get $100 from Bobano if the Celtics win the series. So this is another situation where it just doesn't make sense. It'll just
that is awesome. I can't believe you're gonna own Bobano. That is so awesome, Jim.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you. It feels
fucking proud of you,
man. I was gonna put all Bobano's cash in the weed. Instead, I think I'm just gonna put it into onto my HBI card so I can for the Kentucky Derby. I want to have about $400 or $500 to throw at that race. The importance of Marcus Smart on the defensive end is enormous. Al Horford said he was the soul of our team. He is the soul of our team. Just everything that he brings, toughness, unselfishness, just a hard-nosed player. We fed off his energy. And then again, we said that Stevens was going to outcoach Prunty. And by bringing Ojali into the game over Baines was a brilliant move. It messed up Antetokounmpo. They held him to 16 points on 10 shots. It was very, very impressive. Stevens is out coaching Prunty, which we expected. Let's see. Tomar says, I'm on Milwaukee -3 first half. I think Boston won't be able to match the intensity for Game 5 when Smart gave them a huge emotional boost. Greek Freak got called out. He should be better.
King Rail says, I only do in-play bets now in NBA lean Bucks tonight. If you know what you're doing, that is the smart thing to do in NBA. As you know, Jim, my record in NBA is horrific. It's embarrassing. But my second halves are basically in-play bets. Just at the break, I've done well every year, and I did well this year. And absolutely, you have to be careful. You have to. I wouldn't jump in, with both feet immediately. But if you get a feel for the way these games go and the way the lines go, that is definitely, in my opinion, the best way to bet NBA for sure.
Oh man, well at halftime in Game 4, I ran down to the casino to have a beer, and I put $50.
I would love to sit next to King Rail and watch him do his thing, live betting NBA for a couple of weeks, just to see what he does.
Well,
talk about learning. We would learn some serious shit.
Well, King Rail will be with us in Vegas. He lives in Vegas.
But will there be any? There won't be any basketball games though.
King Rail, WNBA.
Oh yes.
But King Rich Banks. I wanted to mention this. So King Rail, Rich Banks. I know. I am Prometheus, as a guy I follow on Twitter. All you guys that live in Vegas that are low baggers, we got to get in touch because I'm going to get you guys day passes for the IFBC. We want all our Vegas low baggers locked down for IFBC. So I've got day passes for you. So remind me to. We want to lock that down as soon as possible just to make sure it's good. So King Rail, Rich Banks. I'm Prometheus. Anybody else that lives in Vegas, let me know. We hook you up with day passes.
Tomar says, I think Stevens is the better coach, but Milwaukee has struggled like most young teams on the road all year. I think if you like Boston, wait to bet them in Game 7. And Tomar was the one who admonished us earlier in the series to be careful about fading Milwaukee at home. He said they're a different team at home, and he was right. So Tomar is saying, I think if you like Boston, wait to bet them in Game 7. Hardy Party. Bucks first quarter is my only play in that game. Big Will 13-37. Bucks will probably win, but may not cover bullshit spreads. Khalif Lee likes the Bucks full game.
And Jansen saying, I'm so jealous about IFBC. And someone saying, same here, Greg Schneider. Why you guys got to be jealous? You guys can come, man. You guys signed up?
Yeah.
We'll get you in, man. We're doing random draws starting every month. So let's hook that up for sure.
All right, so we can discuss this game a lot more in the evening show. Any pick for you as of right now, Jim?
No. I again, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense for me to bet. I've got the 400 on the series. I've got the 2 units on the series. Why would I cut into that or compound my losses by making a bet in this
And
game?
Almac once again saying, I'll be all over the biggest lead prop in this game. I assume he's talking about the over once again. Kobe Valentine says over is 8-1 in Celtics last 9 overall. Over is 8-1 in Bucks last 9 home games. Over is 5-1 last 6 meetings in Milwaukee, and it is one of these modest totals, 199.5. You don't have to have too much explosions on the court to have that number get eclipsed. Jim.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. If I feel a total that I may want to make a move on for the late show, I'll do that. But I just don't feel like it makes sense to make
Kobe Valentine saying, I agree, but there's still stats. I'm not on either side, just giving out the stats I have. Definitely appreciate that, Kobe Valentine, for just giving out the stats, not necessarily indicating a play. All right, I'm going to look into this game a little bit more. Maybe I'll have a play. Maybe I won't. As of right now, I would be thinking about the over, maybe a first half over. And you want to come back at 12 o'clock Eastern time, Jim?
12 o'clock Eastern.
6 o'clock Eastern time.
Could you want to just touch quickly on the draft?
Jim, I'm having some problems here, okay?
Rumors.
Did you hear how I delivered problems? You hear that? I nailed it, Jim.
You
I'm having some problems, Jim.
Dan Kelly says the only bet you should make at Jim is Game 7 Milwaukee plus points. A sweet middle. That's a great idea. Jansen Bonson says, are you emceeing again in IPC? That's not been decided yet. They might want someone famous to draw attention, but I would be happy to do it. We're just talking about it now. So the big story with the draft is that all these rumors coming out that Baker Mayfield's going to go first overall by the Browns, and so because of that, his odds have skyrocketed. When this show started, you could get him at -180, and now you get him -210 or -200. I have not put a bet in. I got a message earlier from my man Trevor Holt saying, make the move, that he's got inside information. Make the move on Baker. Okay, Dan Kelly says, here's the case for Baker Mayfield not going first. The Browns front office is all brand new. And they're trying to do something special with the first and fourth picks that the last regime left them. So this Browns front office must be willing to do anything, including throwing a few thousand on Baker Mayfield going first at a bookie or two to throw off the press and the rest of the league. The reason for doing this is other teams will set up their draft strategy on the Browns taking Mayfield at 1, thus allowing the Browns to maximize their outcomes with the rest of the picks. Wow.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, I think that's very, very interesting. I'm not going, I mean, at minus 200, I don't think I'm going to make that move. But that's very, very interesting, Dan, and might be exactly right. Wow. King Rails on the over 2.5 wide receivers pick today. And Q Wilson's worried that you have SARS.
I'm feeling great. You know why? Fucking read the comments in this show. Just read this shit. I'm feeling great, Jim. I'm feeling great.
King Rails says Browns should trade first and stack more picks. And Triple Beam says Browns front office is new, but it's John Dorsey, one of the best scouts in the game, not new to the process. So I'm not gonna make a move on Mayfield. I don't like taking stuff like that, but seems like could easily be the possibility. Daryl Lyles says, "Do you need a pass to attend?" Daryl Lyles, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but we can do some messages back and forth, and I can make sure that you're hooked up.
All right, let's wrap this up. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time with a small MLB card and discussing the NBA and NHL games all over again. Thanks so much, everyone.